Okay, so we're gonna talk to you about the tools that we use to do what we're doing here today, which is grinding our elk. We've said before, this is what was recommended to us. We almost didn't go this much, but this expensive, just because we're, you know, cheap, budget conscious, I should say. But I'm also a big fan of having the right tool to do the job and let the tools do the work. And this thing is a workhorse. We've had it forever. We've done anywhere from 3 deer and an elk a year for the last 6 or 7 years. Last year we did 2 elk, 2 deer. So we're doing it. This is our first elk this year. We're finishing it up. This meat actually is from our elk last year. We got so bogged down with processing, we decided just to freeze the trimmings. And so we're gonna grind it up right now. I wanted to show you how, I've seen other videos, I've seen the smaller ones, and you have to cut them up in little bite-sized pieces, almost golf ball size. And that's just more work. It's harder for you. If you're gonna grind a big chunk of meat, why shouldn't you be able to put it through the grinder? So we're gonna test this thing and show you what this 1-horse carnivore, Cabela's carnivore 1-horsepower meat grinder will do. This is a piece of leg on an elk. You can see all the silver skin. It's pretty fibrous. We're going to see it go through this thing and see if it'll do it. So I'm just going to stick it in. I'm going to stick it in lengthwise and then let the auger pull it in and do its work, so I don't have to do anything. There you go. It's out already. Done. And I didn't have to go through and cut everything up into small bits and pieces. And it's just, I'm just shoving it through the hole. If it fits in that hole, it'll work. There's another piece. Here's another one. All right, let's try this one. That was not quite done. All right, and you can see that I had no problem tearing through that big chunks of meat. And these are frozen, like I said, they're partially frozen. They've been out. You'll see the ice crystals on it. We had it frozen last year. We just decided to go ahead and make jerky out of what's left this year. We're gonna do the ground meat jerky. But that's why I'm a big fan of this particular meat grinder, and it's worth the money 100%. What you save in time, you make up for. I mean, what you pay in price, you make up for in time. And if you think about it, if you take a deer into the processor, it's about $300 to have a deer processed. You do it yourself, the machine pays for itself. If you only have one tag, then in probably a couple of years, but in our family, it paid for itself the first year we bought it, and we've had it for 7 years now, and it's still going strong. We've never had to do a repair on it. So that's my review. Is 5-star, buy it, buy it, buy it. It's worth it. Don't spend your money on cheap stuff, because you will buy a new one soon. That's just my experience. You're better off paying, if you can afford it, better off paying for the nice tool that you will use a lot versus a crappy tool that will break. So you can see this was 24 pounds of frozen elk that we thawed out. It was last year's elk. We weighed it out. It was 34 pounds. I had about 2 pounds of this year's elk I mixed in with it. It took probably about 20 minutes of just grinding to get all this ground down. We'll probably run it through again. Just, I mean, some of it's a little coarse, but that's because it's frozen. But you don't want to do it too, like that's perfect. You don't want to do it too, grind it too much, because then the protein starts to separate and it gets gross. And then it's just a texture issue and probably some flavor. I don't know. But we're going to make this into jerky, so we're going to flavor it up, run it through again. We want it a little tacky for that. But yeah, if you have the money, spend the money on good equipment. You'll use it. If you cheap out, it's only going to last a couple years, and then you will buy a new one. So, but that's if that's all you have is a couple $100. Just buy the couple $100 one, and just know you have to do a little more work to make it work for you. Thanks. We'll see you next time.